Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Going For It with Becker. I'm James Becker, and today we've got a really special one for you. I sat down with the Moes Sell Homes group out of Wisconsin, and I just don't mean a team, I mean a family. Jim Moes started in real estate back in 1986 after a bad accident ended his career as an over-the-road truck driver. He was down, he was lost, and then a friend called him with an opportunity. That's all it took. 40 years later, Jim's got his daughter Gina, who got her license at 18, his son Jeremy, who came back from his own devastating accident and found his footing in real estate, and his son Jason rounding out the team. These are real people with real stories, and they're crushing it. They're almost at 100 transactions a year in one of the worst markets in the history of real estate, and in a community of only about 12,000 people. One of the really interesting things about this group is they throw themselves into events. And if you would like to grow your business and your brand by doing events, this is an episode you're going to want to watch. Really interesting stuff. So, buckle up, pay attention, get ready to take some notes, and let's get into it. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Going For It with Becker. I'm James Becker, and today we are with the Moes Sell Homes group, and we have Jason. We have, there we go. We've got Gina. We got Jeremy. And we have the founder, Jim Moe. And so thank you all for doing this. This is a family affair for sure. And Jim, I'm going to start with you because you're kind of the catalyst of this thing. And why don't you tell the audience or the listeners a little bit about your organization and give us a little bit of a history, if you will, please.
Okay. So in 1984, I was an over-the-road truck driver and unfortunately was in a bad car accident and couldn't go back to my career. It was going to be my career. The kids were little. The kids were all very young. And for about 2 years, I floundered pretty badly, excuse me, and tried to find my way. And I had a friend, his name was David, that got into real estate just out of the whim when we were out of high school. And he asked me if I'd be interested, excuse me, if I'd be interested in going to work with him. And I said yes. I got my real estate license. I actually had to wait for it in the mail, which is hilarious to anybody that's newer to the business.
For sure.
Started out in 1986. I sold a property my first day, my first hour in business. So I started out pretty lucky.
That was a good start.
It was dumb luck. It was just dumb luck. But I got my ears wet really quick. I did 8 transactions my first year. I made $4,000 in 1986. But it got better and better and better. And I got into different teams and stuff like that. But I learned that I wasn't a team follower, that I was more of a team leader. 1990. I opened up my own franchise. It was a RE/MAX office. We did that for almost 20 years. Had 14 agents. We live in a small community. We have 80,000 people in a 26-mile square area. So very small population. The population of our city was 7,000 at the time.
Wow.
Now we're up to about 12,000. So but it just got
by leaps and bounds.
Yeah. And the kids have all done everything from the front desk to janitorial work to whatever it took, pounding signs out, doing arrows, whatever it took. And Gina was my first one. Gina actually got her license in high school when she turned 18. She's been with me 28 years, I believe. And then Jeremy in 2005. Jeremy was in a tough accident and actually worked on a industrial type job, and came
Yep.
to work at real estate. And I told him, I said, "You're hanging around. You might as well get your license and help me here." And
Yep.
Jason actually was a bill collector. He worked at a company collecting bad bills and stuff like that. And when I had
Yep.
more opportunity, he added to our team also in 2018. So we are truly a team. We share everything. If I sell something, we all get paid. If Jason sells something, we all get paid. So there's no question if somebody needs a day off, we all jump in and help because we all get paid. The bottom line is we all get paid for it.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So Gina, you were the very first kid to become a part of the team, actually making the team. What was that like at 18 going to work for dad? Did you think, I'll do this for a little while? And like you looked up at your watch and said, holy cow, it's been 18 years since that
Yeah.
happened. I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
So I actually started in his real estate office when I was about 13 and
Okay.
saved up for my first car. And then I was like, well, I don't need a job anymore because now I got the car, which is not true. And
Right.
so then always was just like helping out as the front desk and whatever anybody needed in the office, but was also in high school and whatnot. Well, then I was working at the front desk and the other front desk gal had said, hey, I'm starting real estate classes tonight. You should come work. You should come get your license with me. So, well, I'm not going to need that for long. I'm not going to work this job very long. So,
Right.
a couple years later, I was full admin doing, Jim had a partner and I was the admin on the team. And I figured out that I like sales a lot more than I thought I did. And passed over the reins of the admin and went into sales about 2001 or so.
All right. And so you've never looked back.
No.
No, that's 26 years. Yeah, that's not a short time. And Jeremy, you got into the business the same way Jim did.
Yeah, so I actually fueled jets at MSP at the International Airport in Minneapolis. I was in a bad car accident and I broke actually my neck, my back, both my hips, and my right femur.
Wow.
I was in the hospital for 13
Wow.
months when I got out. Obviously, I physically I was not able to go back to my job. I'm actually a walking quadriplegic because all four of my limbs are affected and tingle every day. But
Wow.
I decided didn't really do anything for a whole year out of the hospital because I just wanted to just not do anything. And then after that, dad asked me if I wanted to start just doing sign work. So I just drive around and hang riders or put little sign stuff out, and then kind of got into the administrative part of it from there and did a lot of the administrative part of it for the office. And then from there ended up we made a move to a credit union. We're one of the few credit union real estate agents in the country, but we work literally right out of a credit union.
Really? So your office is in a credit union?
Yep.
We're actually sitting in one right now.
Yep.
Okay, very good.
And when we were offered the position at the credit union, it was kind of an all or none thing. So it was kind of you either jump into sales or not. It's not some are in sales and some are not. So then I got into sales and we've been here. It's actually our 16th anniversary today at the Wisconsin Credit Union. So we've
Very
been
good. So tell us a little bit about that relationship, Jim, with the credit union, how that works and how that creates opportunities for the organization.
Yeah, we have huge opportunities. I call it the hallway effect. We literally have 24 offices here, all the way from investment, of course, loans, savings. We have our own title company here. We have 14 offices, and every office has their own realtor in their office. There happens to be 4 of us here.
Yep.
We just have everything to offer here, all one stop, and it's been great. Somebody's up front and they're having an overdraft, and the person up front might say, well, is there any way we can help you? And they said, well, I've got to get my damn house sold because I'm in trouble here. And we do a lot of counseling, different than you would as just a regular realtor. We go to people's homes and ask what their needs are and maybe help them refinance if that's what they need. we'll do a valuation for the credit union and then bring that information back. That's where we step out, but then they help them with their financial needs. Eventually, that comes to a sale or you helped out my daughter. I'd like to sell my house. You helped out my son, whatever it might be. But it's a great, great atmosphere here.
Absolutely playing the long game and serving people.
Yeah.
And that always comes back, not necessarily directly, but always comes back. As you guys know, that's a big part of what I want people to do is really just get out there, make friends and serve people and things work. Before we get into serving people in the community, because you guys have got a really neat story and what you guys do for the community, I want to talk a little bit more about the dynamics of the team. So you were mentioning a little bit earlier, Jim, that when a home gets sold, everybody participates in that commission.
Right.
And so I'm going to ask a few part question and then I'll turn it back over to you. Does everyone get paid the same amount, or is there a lead person who gets a little bit more? And then who's responsible for all of the admin and the other work? How does that get split up? And do you have silos where someone is responsible for a specific silo that they're being held accountable to? Like, to me, there's fertile ground for resentment and frustration. Having a family business like this. So clearly you guys are very special to be able to do this. And so can you share, Jim, really how that works? And then we can go from there.
Yep. So I'm going to put it into pretty basic terms, but if Jim is the listing agent and we get the property sold, the first thing we do is put our money into a group account, and then we take 25%, actually 22.5% now, of that money goes into a separate account. We use that just for expenses. And then from there, and I don't mind sharing, the lead person gets approximately 60% of the leftover commission. And then the remaining 3 people get 13.3% of the balance. So it gets a little convoluted if we list it and sell it, but basically we're on a 60, 13, 13, 13 split. And sometimes
after the 22.5% off the top.
After the 22.5%, right. And
right.
Last year we grossed just over 800,000. So we do use all of that money for advertising. We have a budget of about $200,000 for advertising and events.
Yep. So that's really interesting because I don't know if you've been through the business plan and the team maker plan, but the way that I have teams splitting things is that the main agent gets the vast majority, but there's always 25% that goes into paying into the business to pay for the expenses. And then the main agent who maybe signed the contract and negotiated the deal gets 50%, and the person who is supporting gets 25%. So it's a very similar structure than what we have set up. Have you been through that? Did you read that?
We have not, James, only for the fact is that we have such an unusual situation here that we don't recruit agents where we are all designated to an office, but it's one realtor per office. So we haven't been able to capitalize on that.
Yeah. Well, it's just interesting that I like to say great minds think alike.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's the way that you're doing the split really works well. So Jason, we didn't get to you. Share a little bit about how you got into the business and what it is that you're loving about it.
I was a bill collector for 13 years. I probably had a chance to get into real estate when I was younger, but I didn't want to. I wanted to take my own path. And after 13 years of bill collections, it was exhausting.
That's a tough job.
but it was commission based, which I liked.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and an opportunity came up where I could join the team. I started with the team as full admin. I had my
Yep.
license, and I did maybe just a transaction or two a year right away when I started with them.
Yep.
A little over a year ago, I became full partner with the team.
Yep.
And now we all have our own roles as far as how the team functions.
Yep.
But what I love about the job is the flexibility. And some days I'm sitting at the office, some days I'm on the road measuring houses, or I'm just meeting new people and being out and about during the workday, which is I think is great. When I was,
Yeah.
compared to being stuck in a
It-
cubicle for 13 years.
yeah. For
So
13 years, being stuck in a cubicle, being able
yeah,
to be out and about and stop off at a deli and get a sandwich in the
that's
middle of the
right.
day or whatever the case may be.
That's right.
That's pretty awesome stuff. Okay, let's get back into some of the business stuff. This is really fascinating. So the business did, you know, shy of $1 million, a little over 800,000 in GCI. 200,000 of that went into marketing. You guys really do a great job, and this is why you guys are successful in this marketplace and in an area that I believe what you said in a 26 square mile, there's about 80,000 people. It's a small, spread out community, 12,000 in the center of the area in the town that you're at. You're just shy of doing 100 transactions, and that's pretty significant. And my understanding is most of your marketing is branding, so people know who you are. They come to you because of who you are, not necessarily just generating cold leads. So whoever would like to answer, but I would love to hear how you have developed such a good business. And this is, you know, I think when you guys first came to us, you were doing maybe just shy of 70 transactions, right around there, and you have steadily continued to increase uh, your business. So this isn't a flash in the pan. This is something that is consistent, and what you guys have been doing is consistent. So I'd love to hear how you have built such a wonderful business and such wonderful branding.
So I guess I'll go. I think that um, it really just started with before we had Med Fusion. We had a lot of the same thoughts, a lot of the same ideas. Like you said, great minds think alike. We had a lot of the same ideas, but we just never knew how to put it into action and make it all work. Um, and what Fusion really, really did for us is kind of take, like a scatterbrain of ideas and things that we're doing, and sometimes being consistent and sometimes not, and sometimes changing things, and it got us on an actual path instead of standing in somewhere and looking at all these different paths and not knowing where to go at, at different times. And so what Fusion
Yep.
really did for us is consistency is the big word that I always think of with us is we've always been good at what we do. We've always done business. We've always survived, but we've never really had like that path that we all want to follow to I don't know if the finish line is the right word, but just have direction. And I think Fusion really gave us direction. And then being a team the way we are and being a family, we're a close family. We always have been. So we've always got each other's back.
Yep.
Stress to our clients that there's always a mole here for you, really. Like even when I'm out of town for a week,
I
my
love it.
dad's here to help or my brother's here to help.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
like we talked about with our pay, the way we get paid, there's never any animosity typically about helping each other that way because we're all involved in every transaction. So
Right.
a typical listing, Jason grabs the reins. No matter whose lead it is, Jason takes over on the listing side. He gets everything ready for the listing, and he has his whole checklist that he goes through to do the listing between our transaction coordinator, our broker, He kind of takes the reins on lining up the photographs, inspections, everything. Anything listing is Jason. Gina is the offer. She does everything with offers. So no matter whose offer it is, she's the one that gets it all rolling, gets it to the title company, and does all the production for the offer and get it to the finish line. My job is Fusion. So anything Fusion is my responsibility as far as escrows and the rainmaker stuff and the newsletters and the anything that we can do through Fusion is my focus on every transaction. And Dad's number one, he's the leader, so he's the go-to for just about anything. Because in 40 years, he's seen just about everything. So we can always have somebody to kind of to lean on. Not just our broker, but an actual team member to lean on that way. And he's really the leader. He's the belly to belly guy, we call him, because we're all a little bit younger, right? So we're from more of an era of being on our phone, texting, and sometimes he'll say, just pick the phone up and make a call, but he's more the belly to belly, old school salesman type of guy. So I think we all are very different people, and which I think works and helps. We all don't have, we're all not good at the same thing. So we all kind of have our roles on what we're good at and what we're not. And we all seem to really just work together good as a team, and we always have. But now there's like a path. Like there's a like I love golf because it gives me exercise, it gives me something to do, and I get to chase this little white ball and try to get it in the hole all day. Well, now in real estate, I'm chasing something and I'm on a path instead of just scattered brain needles here and there, some cold, some not, some.
We do argue to stay down the middle of the fairway the best you can, right?
Structure, great word. Structure.
A little structure to what we do. I'm born and raised in California, but my dad was born and raised in Lincoln, Nebraska. So I describe myself as the son of a Midwestern man. And I think you guys all know what I mean by that. Jim is from a different era. I'm from this. I was 3 years. I think I got my license in '89. I sometimes joke that I was showing property on horseback and buggy.
Well, I really was, Kevin.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So all of that's good. One of the things that we advocate here at Fusion is to do events, and events is just a great way to build brand, build connections, go deep with individuals. And you guys have done this for years and years. You guys have a really special event that you do every year. You plan it long term. That's one of the problems we have with people is they plan an event and they want to do it 2 weeks later. It doesn't work that way. But I would love for you, Jim, to share about the event that you really created and what it's turned into in your local community.
Okay. I couldn't tell you exactly how many years, but 20 years plus we've been doing it. It started out at my house, and for many years it was at my house.
Tell us what it is first. Tell us what it is first.
It's what we call the old time Christmas party. And at first, it was just a Christmas get together and thank everybody for what they did, and mostly family and friends. We call it the old time Christmas party, and we try to have themes for it and stuff. The most recent theme has been horses and carriages and buggies and Santa and Mrs. Claus. And we turned that into live music. So we literally had tents out in our yard in December, snow or not. We had live music, we had parking. We had so many people one year that a state trooper came and directed traffic for us at my house.
That's awesome.
It was
That's
cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Luckily, no tickets were issued. But
that's awesome.
As it got bigger and bigger, we moved it into an indoor venue now, and same old thing, old Christmas story, but we advertise. We have our meeting as soon as that party is over in December. We meet the next week to review it and plan for the next party. We're already deep into our December party as far as everybody is booked. Most of our venues are paid for already. And we're ready for December 6th, I believe it is, this year coming up.
How many people do you have show up to the event?
The last two parties in 24 and 25, we fed over 450 people at the venue.
That's amazing.
Had a bunch of people, and I'm thinking this year it's going to be bigger yet. I really do.
Yep. One of the things that I share when I'm coaching with people on events is that a lot of people get concerned on the number of people that show up, and what they don't realize is that the marketing and the invitation, that is where the magic is. Because if people can't come, there's a sense sometimes of guilt and reciprocity that is created in that process of just being willing to open yourself to serve people, to create something that is special for people to participate in. And it doesn't really matter how many people show up. And then when you do something that's an annual event, those things just tend to grow, because the people that missed it the first year say, well, this year I'm going to go. And then they end up going. And then there's new people that has been added to the list. So, one, I'm interested if you have found that to be true. And then number two, how many people showed up at the first event that you threw?
Under 20 people the first time.
Yeah.
Less than 20.
So 20x in 20 years.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. And so let's talk a little bit about the event. So you have music, decorations. Do you have Santa? You have cars, I think. I remember something
we have
about
old cars. Or now we use sleighs. Like from the 1800s, we purchased some really cool older sleighs.
So give me some more context to that. So when someone comes to your party, what do they experience at this point?
When they walk in the door, what they first see is the sleighs that are on display, and they have they take pictures with their kids. We let them climb on them, whatever, and they are museum quality sleighs. They're all decorated up. We use a lot of bells. When they walk in, they're going to meet Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus with a professional photographer, and they stand in line for their pictures, which we post on Facebook. I'm looking at Gina.
Well, just real quick on that part, I wanted to mention was we do the professional photography, and then yes, we post them on Facebook, but the week after our party, 3/4 of our feed is so-and-so changed their profile picture. And it's to our picture with Santa and Mrs. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Thank you to the Moes, thank you to the Dweebs and all that. So, and then keep going.
Yeah. So we have a band. Now they walk into the next area, and there's a band called the Dweebs, and they're a Midwest band, but they play in Florida. They play all over.
What kind of music?
Family friendly, crazy family fun cover band. The kids go up on stage, sing with the band, all that
Okay,
stuff.
awesome.
And then the restaurant that we go to, it's a banquet center. They put on a spread second to nothing. They put on a great food. They partially sponsor the event with us, so we get a pretty good deal on the food. We average approximately $10 to $11 per person, only $10 to $11 per person for food. We also get like our credit union sponsors it too. So when you walk in, there's a real nice marquee that says, "Thank you, Wisconsin Credit Union, Wisconsin Title, and Wisconsin Realty for all that you do for us." So we budget $15,000 for the party, but this year,
it?
Yeah, it is with the sponsors that we get. It's a lot of money up for us, but it's tremendous return.
Yeah. The return is deep too, because you're really building relationships and strong ties and a brand that makes sense. And the lead chasing there's so much diminishing return on people's times. And when people know who you are and you have the reputation that you have, you don't have to win their business. You really just focused on serving them. And that's a really nice place to be with the amount of business that you're doing. So, a couple of quick questions. If you, and anyone can answer this question, but if someone was starting off in real estate, brand new, getting into it, what would you recommend for them? What would you tell them they need to do?
Get out there, wear your name tag. If you're at the grocery store, not at the bar, but if you're at the grocery store, wear identification.
Yeah.
I am shocked. I can hardly have a meal for lunch without somebody coming to talk to me because of my badge.
Yep.
And then just getting out in the community, and they all have their own roles. Jeremy is our video guy. Jeremy does 4 videos a week.
Yep.
Information, we get that from keeping current matters.
Man.
Supplies
Yep. Great.
like that.
Yeah.
Gina is just a social butterfly, but also president of Habitat for Humanity,
Great.
president of the Western Wisconsin Board of Realtors. Past.
Yes.
And Jason is getting his feet wet into sponsoring events, wrestling, and or the baseball club, whatever it might be. When anybody comes to our office for sponsorship, we never say no. We might only give them $20, but we never say no.
Yeah. I love that. There was a movie maybe 15 years ago with Jim Carrey in it. And I think it was called Yes Man. Did you guys ever see that? No, but he went to a seminar and the whole thing was about saying yes. And so he ended up saying yes to guitar lessons and Korean lessons and yoga and all these different things. And the whole point of the movie is he developed all of these friendships and he created this community that somehow I think he saved the day somehow because he could speak Korean and play music and all these other things. It's a fun, good-hearted movie as far as I can remember. But I think that's one of the things I think agents need to do. Brand new agents, they need to say yes to everything. They need to go volunteer. They need to meet people. They need to go to every single party that they've been invited to, and they just need to get out there and get their feet wet. If you were giving advice to someone who's been in the business 10 years and they found themselves plateaued, you guys talked about that a little bit. What advice would you give to them?
Get back to the basics. You got to get back to the basics, what you did when you were in the business 3 years. And you got to call people. You got to send letters. We sent out 1,500 personalized letters for our Christmas party. It took us a month to do it. You have to get back into the basics. And then secondly is to quit worrying about the paycheck and worry about helping people, and the paycheck will come with it.
God, I love that. That is such great advice. I think that is a great place to wrap all of this up. No pun intended with the Christmas party story, but that is just really awesome. I have to tell you that we love being in business with you guys. You guys really are the essential types of people that we want to be in business with. You know that our slogan here for real estate agents to do business is to make friends and serve people. And you guys do that better than just about anybody that we have. You guys all have big hearts. You all work hard and you really take great care of your clients. We see the surveys that come in. And you're just an amazing family and an amazing group of individuals. And so thank you. And I'm just